Guys, the cost of food everywhere has been going up significantly. I know particularly in the USA, like costs have just been quite exorbitant. Simple things like bread, meat, like steaks and stuff, beef is going up, chicken's gone up, milk, like the simple items have just ridiculously gone up in cost. I mean, you could probably spend $100, $100 at the store and come back with nothing more than 20 items. And that's getting quite scary. As somebody that's worked in the USA, lived and worked in the USA, lived and worked in Portugal, lived and worked in South Africa, and am currently living in Asia, Thailand. Yeah, like the costs of things you could see are visible. It's very obviously visible. And maybe a few people are not like taking as much attention or paying as much attention to what these costs are and what are the changes on how that may actually affect them. It's kind of scary if you think about it. Like, food is what we all need to survive, unless we've all evolved to surpass what our bodies need nutritionally. Highly unlikely. So there's a strong awareness taking place amongst the working class around the world that is related to the cost of food. And it's been particularly obvious in the United States. And I could sympathize with them quite a lot. They are the leaders of the free world. But when your purchase power is being reduced to what it is right now, you start to question how free they may actually be, and if the pay that they receive is conducive to that freedom that they would like to live. Let's find out.
$72 in groceries. This is why people starve. Why is this $72 in groceries? Without my savings card, that would have been $83. These 2 packs of hot dogs alone were $5.49. Why? Because I am a pescatarian. Don't cancel me. It was $5.99. $5.29 for this. Why is everything like $5 and up? Like this, the cheapest thing was this asparagus, which was $1.43, which I'm thoroughly surprised because typically it's so much more expensive. And then these power waffles are $4.99. And obviously cheese is hella expensive, but this was like one of the cheapest ones I could find. And then on top of that, I freeze my cheese. It's not like I eat it all in a day or two. I just freeze it. Once again, I'm pescatarian, so I eat plant-based chili. Tell me why this costs $5.99. Like this right here, really, dude, really?
Yeah, guys, like, when I look at this video, I kind of have a nostalgic feeling. For me, those prices for the USA are not that bad. When I was in the USA, that's relatively what I was spending on, right? And those were not the cheapest items. Those were the medium premium items. When I say premium, I don't mean like the best. I just mean the ones that are okay, the ones that do the job just the way you want it to be done. So like $5 for some yogurt. Okay, I didn't eat sausages at the time. Listening to the person in the video, she's pescatarian. I was vegan, and being vegan is quite expensive at the time. I'm no longer vegan. I actually like meat, and also my health system works that way. But like I'm saying, living in the USA, having spent those amounts before, I must say that those prices right now is what's considered the cheapest. And since they are considered the cheapest prices right now, it is pushing the boundaries. Obviously in Europe, where I've also lived and worked, those prices would be translated into what's considered expensive. I mean, if you're spending $5 on some fruit, or euros on some fruit, that's considered quite expensive in Europe. Anything over €2 for a loaf of bread is considered expensive. Compared to South Africa, where I've also lived and worked, South Africa is generally cheaper. And also the quality of food is slightly better, just due to the natural ability to grow food and produce just high quality natural food, right? It's a farming nation, so that's just a common thing there. So food is generally cheaper. However, and I'll say this honestly, the salaries do not match the ability, regardless of how cheap the food is, for an individual to go and buy it, because the costs still go up. And the people in the country, there's far more poverty, far more lower pay and low income individuals in South Africa than all these other countries, right? So it's felt a lot more there, despite it being cheaper than the USA and Europe combined. For a loaf of bread, you can spend anywhere between 85 cents to $1.50, which would be your expensive bread. But in South Africa, those guys spending $1.50, that's going to hit them. Like it genuinely will affect them a lot. So I'm starting to understand, and like I said, this lady, she's looking at the cheapest things. Can only imagine like there's these fancy shops in the USA, Applebee's, whatnot, all these fancy places where bread, and I'm using bread because bread is like a staple, right? You cannot mess up a staple. Where those things now start to become $5, $10, $11, in some stupid cases, $12. So I do feel for my American brothers and sisters over there, also Europeans, like genuinely they're suffering a lot. And now where I currently am, Thailand, the prices are actually quite the same. Globally, these increases are the same. And you can't necessarily run away from it. It's just where you are and the pay that you receive from them. Is it really conducive to what you need, what the society there integrates with or eats, and what are you getting paid? If your pay is not really reflective of what you would want to buy, you need to start looking at what you're doing and how much you're getting paid, and also just a complete restructure of, is that what you really need to eat? But if we're talking about bread, you either can't eat bread because of gluten or it's too expensive.
This is what $140 gets you at Trader Joe's. The no-nos, organic butter, 3 avocados, 4 lemons, 4 manzana, 4 mangoes, blueberries, strawberries, green seedless grapes, chicken broth, chicken breasts, filet mignon, flank steak, New York strip, 2 turkey bacon, cinnamon raisin bagels, 2 organic eggs, cottage cheese, 3 egg whites, finally 2 coconut water. That comes out to $141.76. We getting shredded.
So my friend over here spent $141, and as you can clearly see from that grocery shopping list, everything looks organic, everything looks healthy. It's got the steak, it's got the chicken breast, it's got the egg whites, oat milk, the fruits, the vegetables, all the stuff that generally a lot of the companies and doctors and all these places would expect for you to eat. But one thing they didn't tell you is that it's going to cost you $141. $141 is a large portion of one person's salary. I just have to say that when I was in the States, right, this is one of the reasons why I didn't go back. I was actually considering going back to the USA to go and live and work. But, after the Trump administration, not to obviously bicker between which administration is reason for, therefore, and whatever it is what it is. The government is for government. They line in their own pockets as presidential people, and that's it. But the cost of things has really gone over, it went through the roof over there. And I was paying attention to that. And obviously looking at like the fuel costs, looking at Americans complaining of how much the fuel is costing and other small things that they can't afford food. I mean, Americans complaining that food is expensive is, it's like the Arabs complaining that there's no more oil. And also them, that's funny, because the Arabs and the Americans and oil, never mind, bad joke. Moving forward, that's kind of a personal reason as to why I wouldn't have returned to the USA. If I'm spending $141, but my ass is actually trying to be healthy and eat good and not get stuck into the fast food culture, I mean, this is why people get stuck into the fast food culture. I mean, this is why they've got an obesity problem in the United States. And you can't blame them. It's just expensive. You get hungry after your hours of work. You're probably working 3 or 4 different jobs anyway, and that's just to pay rent and to eat a decent meal. If you need at least 2 jobs to eat a decent meal, especially if you're in a relationship, you're married, you've got kids, and you want everyone to be healthy, to have longevity, prolonged lives. It's going to cost you $140 to $80 plus per person just to eat healthy. Mind you, this is one guy eating this healthy food. yeah, I don't know what to tell you, but this is evident of the living crisis. It's really infecting individuals in the US, and it's slowly spilling out into the rest of the world. Again, once the free world tends to have more suffering than everyone else will join. Unless for some odd reason everyone else becomes the example of change and possibility. We know certain countries that have done that, such as Singapore. Singapore has been able to pull themselves out of discrepancy, and some Middle Eastern countries, you know, United Arab Emirates, you got the Qatar, Bahrain's and stuff like that. Those guys are extremely wealthy. Yes, they do depend on the USA as allies and stuff like that for certain things, but for the most part, they've got power and they've got valuable power on their side and can actually enact any powertrain that they feel would best work within their interest and for their people. Now, I do hope that the USA is able to kind of rectify this problem that they're experiencing financially with the food. It would suck to see the free world kind of go down this route, especially after having lived it. I can understand that it's not as cheap as it should be. But it will get better, guys. It will get better. Don't stress. We are all on your side. Now, the United States of America. I love you guys. Please know everything that I'm doing is because I've been there and I understand your guys' struggle and pain. And you're the free world. So, yeah, everyone has an opinion about you guys because we need to know what's happening there. Whatever happens there happens here. So, as much as the cost of food and stuff is really going up in the States, there's one thing that I cannot deny. And I understand why you guys are also kind of pissed off and frustrated. You know, if you want to eat healthy, you go to a place like Whole Foods, which to my understanding is one of the best organic, healthy grocery stores in the USA. But it's expensive, like $2 for one avocado and stuff like that. And then, you know, you're one person, especially, you know, if you're someone like me, you like to work out, eat healthy, you're going to eat a lot more, right? And I love to eat. It's going to cost you $75 to $100 a week, just to feed yourself, one person, single person. That's hella expensive. Now, this video that I'm about to play for you right now explains one of the benefits that the USA has. May not be the healthiest, could be the reason why there's a lot of other alternative health issues, but something that the rest of the world doesn't really have to this extent. Let's check it out.
These are the cheapest buffets in all of America. CC's Pizza. For lunch, this shit is like $6 per person. How do they even make a profit? Right off the get, we got some fresh looking delectable pizza, kind of. I mean, nah, never mind. It's pretty thin. Yeah, I don't know about this anymore, guys. I see why it's $6.
What even is this? No, that's pretty good. Well, it's not bad.
Round two, we got some pasta, which looks pretty fresh. Got some soup. Soup looks like piss.
Yeah, the soup tastes like piss.
All in all, guys, I think this is well worth the price, honestly.
It's an Indian buffet at only $16. Now, y'all know how much I love Indian food, so I wasted no time and walked up in there. Goat curry, chicken tikka masala, tandoori chicken. First plate looks like a straight up masterpiece. My waiter brought out some garlic naan. Took one bite out of the food, and I knew instantly I was in trouble. I don't remember what this was, but it had me disappear out of my seat, contemplate my life right quick. At this point, I was pretty full, you know, think I'm just gonna call. Psych! You thought. Round two, baby. Kept it light because at this point, I was already having a hard time breathing. Guys, well, that's my experience. Now, all I gotta say, psych! You thought I wasn't gonna get dessert, bro. So I got this fruit custard, brother. My eyes have never popped like this after eating fruit custard. Straight up had me disappearing.
Yeah, straight up. So I think I made this one very clear. The USA has this thing with buffets, right? Now, as much as the cost of organic food is going up, see, when I bought my groceries, yeah, I mentioned Whole Foods. I was aware of Whole Foods. I just never went to go and buy at Whole Foods because Whole Foods is expensive. Publix was expensive. I think I bought at Publix once. Yeah, Applebee's a couple of times, but most of my shopping was done at Walmart, right? However, one thing I didn't do, I never had this experience, was the experience of an American buffet. You cannot starve in a USA buffet. It's about $5 to $10, eat all you want, and there's everything. You're only paying for your drinks, which is also not the best thing. It's just like pure sugar, right? They've got that. The food may be crap, but as you can see from the two dudes in this video over here, the one guy is saying $6. Basically, $6 is cheap to eat as much as you want. So he's aware that if I'm paying too cheap for something, it's probably going to be crap. And it turned out to be crap. Now, USA does have this proclivity to actually make shitty food, right? This is true. You guys know this. I think you guys tell the rest of the world about this, and it is what it is. Now, the unfortunate reality of that is this has plagued the USA for many years and has made good food extremely expensive for families to afford. Now, the second guy in the video, obviously, went to an Indian buffet, and Indian buffets are well known for just causing your stomach to get rocked. Well, Indian food will cause your stomach to get rocked. No, this is not a stab or a racist jab at anyone. I'm half Indian, and the fact of the matter is it's true, right? It is what it is. So in the USA, when you're spending $6 for a buffet, eating a meal that is, or eating food that I guess is known to make you a little bit sick, and you do get sick, I mean, that's pretty much an example of what a lot of citizens are experiencing and are unhappy with regards to their current food security system. Can it change? Sure. What does it require to change? It's a good question. Perhaps government intervention into the health. I know recently JFK, working with Donald Trump, they genuinely want to take the USA's health quite seriously. As for the rest of the world, I mean, we have all these other organizations and stuff, World Health Organizations, blah, blah. But I'm not too sure that I've seen a considerable effort to have like a global sort of intention towards wanting society to be healthy. I know some countries here and there, they've banned sugar in some places, some items you cannot get in some countries, only in other countries. Yeah, but USA, I mean, genuinely, if you are starving and you have nothing to eat, just know that you have those options available to you. And if you are dead set on being healthy, maybe fast up until the point that you don't need to fast anymore and you can eat the healthy food that you wanted to eat. But I wouldn't suggest that. I would suggest you to eat something. Go to those $6 buffets, get yourself fed so that you can at least have some level of energy to take yourself out of that position and put yourself in a position to earn the required funds to go and buy those foods that you need. Whatever happens in the main free world ripples across time to everyone else. So, I'm currently in Thailand, right? If the cost of a steak in the USA is what, like maybe $30, $40 per kilogram, I'm going to assume that. I'm not too sure. I haven't been there in a long time and I haven't recently checked the prices. But maybe I'll drop a price on the screen somewhere. I'll ask ChatGPT to drop it for me. Obviously, being here in Thailand, my purchasing power has gone through the roof. I've got more ability to eat here. I can do whatever I want to do. I can go for a massage. Now, a massage, I'm going to use a massage as a good example. In the USA or anywhere in Europe or even in South Africa, you cannot just afford to go for a massage whenever you want to. Is a massage important? Yes, it is. Especially if you put your body through duress. You know, your body needs to recover, it needs to heal. A massage will help your body's muscles recover slowly but surely. Here, I can do 5 of them a week. In the USA, I could do 1 of them for the cost of 5 of them here. That's just to show you my purchasing power has really, really gone further. A steak, I may pay, because there's no cows here, that's okay. A steak may not be a good example but you know what? This next video is actually a fantastic example, and I'll explain after. So let's have a look at it.
You have some fruit?
Some fruit.
Frutas? How much? $10, $12. You can do like $5? $5? It's poco. A bit, poco. Can you do half, nah?
¿Se puede yo?
10. Sí, 10. Okay. One.
¿Uno?
Yeah, uno. ¿Cómo te llama?
Manuel?
From Mexico?
Guatemala.
Oh, nice. Welcome to America. Yeah. Big. I love the rainbow color. Lots of protection from the sun.
Tajín, chapoy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yummy. Yeah, good. Muchas gracias, señor.
Gracias a usted.
Sí.
Gracias, muy amable.
Hasta la vista. $10 for this huge grande bowl of fruit. He put some spicy sauce on it. I know the first one was tahini. I'm not sure what the second one is. Let's give it a taste. Let's go right off the bat. The coconut. Let's go for a bite of the cantaloupe that has the spicy sauce and the tahina. Let's go. It's not spicy at all. It's more sweet. Sweet taste. I think this is kiwi or some type of cantaloupe. That is amazing, actually. The spiciness brings a nice tang to the sweetness of the fruit. Things are more expensive in the US. This is $10. Definitely expensive. I'm gonna rank the fruit bowl from California an 8 out of 10.
So trust California to be costing this for basic items like fruit. And this is actually a fantastic video to end this on. If you're spending $10 for a fruit bowl on the street, then you know that we are most certainly within a major crisis, and food prices they're going to skyrocket from here on out. This is not even a warning, you know, this is just a straight up like, what the hell is going on? $10 for fruit on the street. And from there, it even says $12. I don't know if you noticed, it said 12 and he's given a discount of $2. The guy making the video admittedly said it's expensive. It is expensive. It's been fruit, for goodness sake. It's fruit. I'm in Thailand. For $10 worth of fruit, I can my God, I can probably get 20 kilograms. And that's not an exaggeration. I could probably get up to 20 kgs worth of different fruits. I'm not too sure what's happening there now. Like now, watching that video literally has made me question a lot about what's happening over there in the States. And I support a lot of you guys leaving there to find something different. In fact, I know a lot of Americans don't leave America for whatever reason. Now is a good chance to. Genuinely, now is a good chance to. If you're hungry, you want some cheap fruit, get the hell out there. If you're tired of spending $10 on some fruit from a guy that's not even from the USA, what are you doing? Just leave. Just leave and go and find look where I am. I can take $10 and get 20 kgs. 20 kgs of fruit. It'll take me weeks to eat that. Probably up to a month. I mean, the decision's literally up to you guys over there. Europe is actually a little bit better. They grow fruit trees. That was actually something nice. You know, winter, you can walk around, you can find an orange tree. You won't starve. Africa, you know, the broke ass continent of Africa where I come from, bro, there's fruit trees there too. Like, yes, there's starvation. I'm not gonna lie and say there's no starvation there. There is starvation. Maybe there's not fruit trees everywhere, but it's still a little bit better, and certainly not $10 worth of fruit. I think if anyone in Africa was charging $10 for fruit, there'd probably be a major civil war. I think that's blasphemously disrespectful to charge $10 for chopped fruit. Not even the whole fruit, it's chopped. Damn. Anyway, I hope that the food prices where you're living does come down, because food security is extremely important. As you can see from these various different experiences, that it does vary from place to place. As you can hear from my experiences, that it hasn't been easy. I've jumped from place to place too. I've been in the States where things are not at the same time, but when they were starting to get a little bit more hot. Lived in SA where things weren't the best, but it was okay. Lived in Europe where things are also not the best, but okay, right? And I'm now in a place where things are a little bit better. Notice I'm not saying they're extremely bad. There's always probably somebody in a worse position than you, and acknowledging that will give you a reason to work harder and change your life for the better, to change their life for their better. So yeah, hopefully this video makes you see the world differently, makes you want to go and explore for whatever reason, and hopefully they're all for the right ones, and you get to see the world for what it could be with your experience associated to that. Please do leave a comment down below. What is the cost of food where you're currently living, you know, for basic items? What have you been spending lately? What has been your last month's purchase? And yeah, if you like the video, please do like the video. And if you'd like to share this with your friends, get this conversation going, more than happy to. And I'd like to continue this in more videos going forward. So thanks for watching.